For today's headlines, hefty fuel price hike starts today. PDP Laban flaunts dominance. Alert level 3 in Taal remains. Bongbong plans PhilHealth reorganization. Public Attorney's Office probes teener's death after circumcision. Cusi wraps power plants on outages. Will Smith apologizes to Chris Rock over Oscar slap. North Korea's Kim vows overwhelming military power. Good morning, I am Venice Bautista and this is Tribune News on Q. Today is March 29, 2022, and these are the latest news of this Tuesday morning. Oil companies have imposed another round of hefty fuel price hikes, which are above the estimates over the weekend due to higher market premiums and freight rates. Effective today, March 29 to Monday, April 4, motorists will see a 8.65 peso increase per liter of diesel, 3.40 pesos per liter of gasoline, and 9.40 pesos for every liter of kerosene. Noticeably, of the three commodities, gasoline has the smallest increase due to lower demand for the product in the regional market. Since the start of the year, this is already the 13th week of oil price adjustments in the country, with 12 price increases and just one episode of rollback last week. Earlier, the International Energy Agency, or IEA, already warned that the hefty price rollback last week was only temporary. Among others, it recommended implementing car-free Sundays in the cities, 3-day work from the home setup, and limiting air travel if necessary. The IEA said its proposal can cut oil demand, especially in advanced economies, by as much as 2.7 million barrels a day in the next 4 months. Although prices are up again, the Department of Energy still maintains that local supply remains sufficient, with oil companies and refiners exceeding the minimum inventory requirement set by the government. While the conflict between Russia and Ukraine has yet to subside, the country will have to cope with the rising oil prices. As the local campaign period kicked off last Friday, the ruling Partido Demokratiko Pilipino Lakas ng Bayan, or PDP Laban, appeared ready to show its strength and dominance in support of its candidates and allies who are expected to continue the vision and legacy of President Duterte. PDP Laban President Secretary Alfonso Cusi expressed confidence that all the PDP Laban candidates and allies will finish strong in the mainline, national, and local elections. Cusi commended all the PDP Laban candidates, members, and allies who have stayed true and loyal to the party's 11-point agenda to continue President Duterte's reforms and programs that serve all the underprivileged Filipinos, the poor, the youth, the indigenous people, and the women and children. Earlier, the PDP Laban has thrown its support to the presidential and vice presidential candidacies of former Senator Bongbong Marcos and Davao Mayor Sara Duterte, with supporters and even critics saying that PDP Laban's endorsement has already sealed the outcome of the elections in favor of a Bongbong Sara win. The PDP Laban is fielding some 6,592 national and local candidates in the main national and local elections, most of them incumbent governors, congressmen, and mayors. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council announced on Monday that the Taal volcano's ongoing unrest has affected 3,850 people so far. According to the agency's most recent situation report, this equates to more than 1,000 households living in 14 barangays in the municipalities of Agoncillo and Laurel in Batangas. Some 3,460 people, or 956 families, are currently housed in 16 evacuation facilities, while 201 people, or 54 families, are receiving assistance outside. Due to a phreatogmatic eruption, which occurs when magma and water combine, the Taal volcano's alert status was elevated to level 3 on Saturday. The Calabarzon Police Regional Office is keeping a close eye on regions where citizens have been forced to flee because of the unrest in Taal. Police officers were stationed in evacuation centers to maintain peace and order, as well as to guarantee that necessary health protocols were followed, according to the PNP. Some members of the Philippine Coast Guard and the Armed Forces of the Philippines have been deployed as well. Meanwhile, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PhilHealth, said that there is no volcanic earthquake and was detected in Taal volcano for the past 24 hours. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Mahalin natin ang Pilipinas.
Lilipad na ang agila, magtatanggol, magmamahal sa ating bansa.
We shall fly, soar, fight, and win!
This public service advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM.
Oh, vaccination, isolation. Gotta keep up with my nutrition. Gotta maintain my body condition. Then I can take my vaccination. What do I choose? What do I take? As long as it is not a fake. AstraZeneca, Moderna, BioNTech, even Sinovac, okay na. Babakuna ka ba? 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 Vaccination for the nation, no more isolation. With vaccination, babakuna ka ba? 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 Paturok, paturok, paturok.
This public service advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM.
We're back on Tribune News on Q. Presidential candidate Bongbong Marcos is considering reorganizing and replacing state insurer PhilHealth should he become the next Philippine president, expressing his dismay at its management throughout the years. During a town hall meeting with various sectoral representatives at the Lambayong Municipal Hall, Sultan Kudarat on Monday, Bongbong said that the problem with PhilHealth is not a medical problem, it is a management problem. He explained in Filipino that they need to rename, reorganize, and replace PhilHealth with a more improved agency. There are a lot of state insurers which they can replicate because health insurance is detrimental on the government's finances. Meanwhile, the Public Attorney's Office, or PAO, will provide legal aid to the family of a 13-year-old boy who died after undergoing circumcision during a recent medical mission. PAO Chief Attorney Presida Rueda Acosta vowed to criminally hold responsible the organizer and doctors of a medical mission following the death of the boy in Lucena City after undergoing the procedure. She said the organizer and doctors of the medical mission might face a case of reckless imprudence resulting in homicide due to negligence if PAO investigation will show their criminal liability. The PAO chief said Quezon Memorial Hospital, where Angelo was brought by his parents on March 21, 2022, after he complained of a severe headache and unabated bleeding from his circumcised penis, must also explain why it did not readily undertake blood transfusion on the victim, who already was anemic. PAO Forensics Division Chief Dr. Erwin Erfe has already undertaken an autopsy on the victim's genitalia to determine the cause of death of the victim, who dreamed of being a seaman someday. Acosta said the victim's parents sought PAO's help after their son had a circumcision undertaken by a still unidentified group of organizers and doctors that conducted a medical mission in Lucena City more than a week ago. Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi reprimanded some power plants that deliberately derated their units on weekends to conduct minor maintenance works. In a statement on Monday, Cusi said these power plant operators could have done the work without shutting down their plants, which only poses an inconvenience to power customers. He stressed that as summer approaches, low water levels also result in the rating or the unavailability of hydro plants. These have been considered in the scheduling of the maintenance activities of the power plants. However, the energy chief added that last Saturday evening, the largest plant in the grid also went offline, resulting in a yellow alert. It can be noted, though, that there is still enough capacity in the system, as it did not result in any power interruption. By Sunday, most of the derated plants were back to normal, and the largest plant on outage also had already returned to service. Cusi assured that we have a sufficient capacity in the system moving forward. And on Saturday from 6 to 11 p.m., the Luzon grid temporarily went on yellow alert after forced outages of 7 facilities with a combined capacity of 2,011 megawatts. Unit 1 of the GN-powered Dinginan plant, Unit 2 of South Luzon Thermal Energy, Units 2, 3, and 4 of the Southwest Luzon Power, Unit 2 of Calaca Power Plant, and Kalayaan Power Plant experienced forced outages. Tribune News on Q will be back. Stay with us. You are still watching Tribune News on Q. Actor Will Smith apologized to Chris Rock for hitting the comedian during the live broadcast of the glitzy Oscar ceremony in Hollywood. The winner of the Best Actor Oscar wrote on Instagram, and I quote, "I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be," end quote. The apology comes after the Academy of Motion Pictures and Sciences, the body that awards the Oscars, said it was launching a formal review of the shocking incident when Smith attacked the comedian over a joke about his wife's hair. Smith said in his apology that violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. He admitted that his behavior at the Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. He added that jokes at his expense are a part of the job, but a joke about his wife, Jada's medical condition, was too much for him to bear, and he reacted emotionally. Pinkett Smith suffers from alopecia, a condition that causes hair loss, and had a closely cropped head at Sunday's ceremony. The 94th Academy Awards was in its final hour when actor and comedian Rock quipped that Pinkett Smith appeared ready to star in G.I. Jane 2. A repetitive sequel to a film about a female soldier who has a shaved head. After at first appearing to laugh at the joke, Smith walked onto the stage and smacked Rock with an open hand. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has vowed to build up overwhelming and unstoppable military power, state media reported Monday, days after he presided over the nation's biggest missile launch. Kim's comments follow Pyongyang successfully carrying out the launch in defiance of crippling international sanctions on Thursday, the first time the North has fired an intercontinental ballistic missile or ICBM at full range since 2017. Known as the Hwasong-17, the powerful ICBM was first unveiled in the October 2020 and dubbed a monster missile by analysts. The missile launched Thursday, one of nearly a dozen North Korean weapons tested this year, appeared to have traveled higher and further than any previous ICBM tested by the nuclear-armed country, including one designed to strike anywhere on the United States mainland. Analysts say that the successful launch may have emboldened Kim's confidence that his country is on the right track to achieving nuclear deterrence and that more such tests should be expected. And that wraps up the stories this morning, but before we go, we would like to thank the following: SM Store, Araneta City, Department of Tourism, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, Empire Eastland Holdings Incorporated, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Venice Bautista on Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.
Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. Download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS and Google Play for Android to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune invites you to join its vibrant community, Katribu, to get updates on the hottest news on politics, business, sports, lifestyle, and entertainment. Emoticons of the Tribune mascot Tarsito are available on our community Viber.